Alalim La Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Bahasham Rocha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone rule well, and labor in his word and doctrine. Alright, Shalom. So I'm gonna play this clip again, and then we'll go through just some scriptures.
When you have a country that's this silly, you have late night hosts crying, you have, the girl who threatened her mother on Dr. Phil is a legitimate star, right? Bad Baby. Remember that woman? She's a star now. Pictures of apes are selling for the cost of a Lamborghini. Our last president was the guy who hosted The Apprentice. It really is, we're in like a fucking weird movie.
Do you remember when you were a kid and you would hear about the last days of the Roman Empire?
It actually does seem that we're in a stage of decline.
So you can obviously think of many scriptures if you've been in this truth for a little bit of time. All right, but I'm gonna read these ones. Ecclesiastes 10:5. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from the ruler. And as he's mentioned, one person that was considered some form of ruler, noble, thereof, because realistically, the banking families of they're the ones who are like really of a higher rank in terms of rulers. All right, and who's the head of who and whatnot. The so-called president, he's really just playing his part under them. Okay, they basically tell him what to do as well. They're like handlers for him. He's not like he's not the top king ruler, but he has like a king. He is a king, is what I'm saying. But he's not Donald Trump was never like the king of Babylon, but he was a ruler of Babylon. Okay. All right. Now again, it says, "Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place." And let's get that word folly. You see, folly, all right, or in the Hebrew, the word sakal goes into, it simply says folly is silliness, concretely, collectively, adult. Folly means mental weakness, foolish behavior or character, unwise conduct, including wickedness, lewdness, madness, from all French folly, madness, stupidity. All right. Again, from fall, which means fool. When someone is a fool, he's silly, stupid, an ignorant person. So foolish things, all right, are set in great, and the word there is rather abundant dignity. This word for dignity is marawan. All right, now marawan means height, elevation, elevated place, in a high place, height, proudly, of nobles. Now, so when it goes into folly being set in great dignity, basically they esteem it highly. They put it in a higher place. They say this should be exalted. But then things that are righteousness and holiness, they bring it down low in this world, man. Because who's ruling, man, is the wicked. All right, and the scriptures also say this, man. Ecclesiastes 10:7. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. All right, and hey, there's that statue. I can't remember who's in the statue. I think I have to look it up really. Okay, it was Theodore Roosevelt. There you go. I see eyes removal of Theodore Roosevelt statue from American Museum of Natural History. Oh, get out of here. Hold on, man. There's all this shit popping up, man. Alright, slack you. City eyes removal of Theodore Roosevelt statue from American Museum of Natural History. And here it is right here. Alright, he's on a horse. Alright, and he is a servant on a horse, because he indeed is a Idumean. Okay, he's from the nation of the red man of Genesis 25. And you can see, look, so-called Native American there. So-called black man, African American there, man. And what is that showing you? Look, that's boasting himself, saying, he took down this nation. All right. Which nation is it? It's the nation of Israel, man. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree or disagree. Statue of President Theodore Roosevelt with an American Indian and a black man, so-called for either. On either side of him on his horse, will be taken down by the Museum of Natural History because of its controversial nature, depicting a white man with others subservient. So they're taken down for whatever reason they decide. They said obviously it's controversial. That's it's vague. Man, I don't know what got into them really. Maybe it's just them pretending that they're about it, just like how little like Sleepy Joe tried to make that speech. White supremacy, it's a poison. I believe he said it like that. You don't fucking give a fuck, man. Now their words are smoother than butter, innit? In Psalm 55:21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Look at that, man. Every time every time you hear your damn enemy speak, man. Sleazy E, and all the heathen really, but specifically the wicked, easy, easy E. It's like I don't know if I want to say E or sleazy E, but sleazy E is what I want to say. The words of his mouth was smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. So he's really in his mind. He's really thinking about how he can go against whoever the fuck that he wants to go against, which is mostly and really predominantly, all right, our nation, man. But of course, he don't give a fuck about really even his own a lot of the time. He goes against his own, the lower in terms of class, he'll give them the max. Okay, he writes on the Georgia Guidestones. He wants to make the earth at 500,000 as that to be the population or that. He has the idea of he ain't gonna make it, only he wants to have the top tier slaves, man, and that's gonna have to be all right, Jake. Right, even though his words were soft than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Right? Yeah, these devils, they sharpen up their mouth like as a sword, man, to make it as sharp as possible, to be sharp with a deceptive nature. Right? Showing that, man, DJ Trump, well, that individual, all right, he's just playing his part to throw people off by distracting them with all his little what would you say, like outlandish words and whatever the fuck. They're distracted by it as well. All right. Obviously, he'll say things that are relevant to news that's going on and things that will relate to prophecy. Don't get it twisted. But a lot of shit was just to make you get offended. All right, and get part of all the entertainment factor of it all, man. Because whether you hate or love something, you get this feeling of like arousal to love or hate the thing. Okay. That video where they're talking about just like the high level of degeneracy, all right, and just fucking folly in America. They're just talking about all that. It's very, it's very known, but really people are still distracted because there's a lot of distractions about, man. A lot of bread and circuses and whatnot. There's so much stuff going on right now, man, regarding the fall of Babylon. But people are distracted by it because people they don't think this world is going to come to an end, man. They're not measuring the time diligently, or only the hopefully elect right now are doing such. But it's Ecclesiastes 1 now, and go to verse 1. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. Get down to where is that? There you go. This is verse 14. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. The works of this world, all right, is most certainly vanity, man. All right, it's vain. It's idle. It's worthless. There's no value in it. There's no true profit from it all. They think they're profiting out of it right now because they're seeing some level of profit, all right, with their fucking shitty banks full of gold. Or, the people actually falling for it. But ultimately what's going to happen is Yahushua is going to come back and judge them for it, man. And this is all the Lord's will, man. Hey, about verse 15, that which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. Now, you see, the whole foundation of how the world is established right now through E is corrupt. It's all crooked. It's not upright. It's not straight. All right. But the things we prophesy, hey, they're straight things, but you want smooth things out here, don't you, Jay, man? You want to hear that? Oh no, God loves America. You want to say God bless America and all that shit. You want to you want to vote, all right? You just want to pretend that America is all about just sports and fast food and just a lot of all the merchandise and whatnot. When really that place is it's crumbling, man. These guys says these dudes was Joe Rogan and some other dude. I recognize the voice. Actually, I'm not sure exactly who he is. I think I recognize the voice. I was saying that, but I perceived that if I'm not mistaken, I think it was someone I have seen a clip of him on because I sometimes see clips of Joe Rogan podcast, and sometimes they do talk about things you can make a lesson on, man. All right, and this is one of the things that they talk about. And this is something that they're aware of. But you see, in regards to Joe Rogan, he might be someone who's climbed the ranks of some type of fucking occult bullshit. It's quite likely. It is likely. But I'll get again. I don't know too much about him. But in terms of, to actually make it in his kingdom, you do have to be you do have to do such thing, man. You do really want to be so called famous and go all this whatnot. But I just don't know much about how fucking famous he is. But either way, if he ain't in his truth, he's playing an agenda in some way. But what he's also doing, he's making it clear. Well, it was the other guy who was saying it, but I didn't hear him disagree, but I also didn't hear him agree because he's trying to be sly with it, man. Because really, he's still a servant of that wicked land. Let's get this real quick. Proverbs 29. This book of Proverbs 29, and I'm gonna start verse 2, man. When the righteous are in authority, which they are not right now, the people rejoice. That's why we're in a time where there isn't really rejoicing, man. It's not really a time of things being in order. Now it says, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. This is this time when us of the hopeful elect, are really certainly in a time where we're mourning, we're low, but we're also rejoicing because we see the prophecies coming to pass, man. Okay, we're lowly, all right, and of course, when shit hits the fan, we're going to increase our humility and increase our faith, all right. But we're not going to necessarily always want to mourn because it's a time to rejoice to know that we're closer, man. But when we're ruled under the wicked, there's we certainly have feelings of mourning, especially when we're in the world, when we were in the world, I should say. All right, and our people who are in the world, they're certainly going to mourn because they don't have any answers, man. Because they don't want to hear the answers because it's not for everybody of our nation. Okay, the scriptures make it clear, man. This truth ain't going to go to everybody of our nation, man. Now, this is Proverbs 29:12. If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. You hear that, man? If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. Oof. Right, so if you're a servant of these damn devil rulers and you're hearkening unto the lies as well, really, you're a wicked person, man. What they were talking about, I mean, they're talking about that fucking Cash Me Outside. How about that bitch? She's become quote unquote famous from basically just being a degenerate, man, a reprobate. That's what happens in Babylon, man. This is the type of shit that you're supposed to despise. This is supposed to gloss past. You're supposed to, really bring this wickedness to light so people can understand just how fucked up that place is, man. Now this is Proverbs 29, verse 16. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increases, and there's just too many wicked people on this earth for this place to be considered a place of righteousness, man. There's too many wicked places on this earth for us to rejoice in this world. All right, we're rejoicing while being in the world because we're rejoicing of its fall, but not rejoicing because of the world's standard of living. No fucking way, man. This place is disgusting. This whole world, man. Now it says, but the righteous shall see their fall. That is us, man, because that is such a joyous thing. Right, it's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 25 and verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the tenth will I utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Proverbs 29:23 says, a man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. Okay. And there's going to be honor, all right, for the saints, which are the Israelites, but specifically the elect on this side. There's going to be great honor for those, all right, that took themselves out of this world only because, I don't know what to say, if we're the number, we were looking for the kingdom of heaven, man. Just thinking about that before anything else. Okay? You see, one of the things you mentioned was the whole thing about Rome. Well, really, the image of Rome is still standing right now. Really, it's still being prospered, and people, don't necessarily say they are, Romans or whatever. But Babylon is keeping up that same image, man. Revelation 13. Okay, where we at? All right, this is Revelation 13 and 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. So this beast is with 7 heads and 10 horns, the same beast with the 10 horns in Daniel 7, which is the fourth beast, and the fourth beast is indeed Rome. So this beast, Rome, okay, you're going to see now, as we continue to read, verse 3, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. So there was a deadly wound, all right, there was a deadly wound upon Rome, but what happened was, after that 1,000-year period where Jake was ruling in Rome, okay, because that whole Byzantine Empire and whatnot in Asia Minor, that indeed was Jake ruling, the so-called Holy Roman Empire, which really they were going off, so they weren't really being holy, but that is indeed what it's called typically in history and whatnot. That was not ruling, man. That was not the same Romans of the time when the fourth beast came upon the earth. All right, but however, that wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast, which again is Rome. All right, and then as you continue down to verse 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb. Now 2 horns represent, the like similar to the patricians and plebeians. You get the Democrats and Republicans. Okay, and he spake as a dragon, as a dracon, like a fiery serpent. Look at this word, man, dracon. As you heard the term draconian law. Now, this word dracon means a dragon, a great serpent, a name for Satan. It says there. It basically goes into a serpent, man. It's a fabulous kind of serpent. All right, let's get that word fabulous. One second. All right, so fabulous is mythical, legendary, from Latin fabulosus, celebrated in fable, also rich in myths. From fabula, story tale. Okay, pertaining to fable. Interesting. Enormous, immense, amazing. This is marvelous, terrific. I mean, that was the approach they were going with, right? Perhaps as supposed to fascinate, right? And they would marvel at this serpent, basically, man. This dracon, this dragon, all right. And indeed he spake as a serpent, right? As what is a serpent? All right, just like as it reads in the garden, the serpent beguiled Eve. There was no beast more subtle than a serpent. All right, to basically come to be subtle, like in Genesis 3 and 1, where it says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field." This word subtle, irowam, subtle, shrewd, crafty, sly. It's like the word sly is a word people used to use a lot when I was in high school. Sly, sensible, crafty, shrewd, sensible, prudent. Subtle, shrewd is basically like you're coming in very you're creeping up, basically. You're not making your intentions very out in the open. All right, so this wait, subtle. Oh yeah. Subtle, clever, dexterous. Dexterous goes really into right hand, so crafty, not dense, thin. Why is it not? Oh yeah, cool. Let me try this one. Penetrating. Well, they are going is going the same thing. I think this one's a bit weird, the dexterous. I don't know why that would be there, but this word here, Old French subtle, a learned Latinized reformation of earliest subtle. You know what it is though? Just thinking about it. Let's get that word dexterous. How is it spelled? God damn it! How do you spell it? Yeah, dexterous. Dexterous. Right, convenient, suitable. Of Latin dexter, skillful. Okay, to a degree, right? Right, because he is skillful on the left hand side, man. Because we are to also be like serpents, subtle on the right hand side. All right. Now, this word for right hand in Revelation 13 and 16, for example, with the charagma being the right hand, on the forehead. This word actually is dechios. Dechios. This is what I was thinking. Really goes, right. This is referring to the right side. Dechomai. Okay. That's a dexterity. It means manual skill in using the hands. Physical adroitness in general, from French dexterite, from Latin dexteriatum. All right. Readiness, skillfulness, prosperity. From dexter, skillful, also right hand. Also right hand. Cool. Okay, but back to the point. Revelation 13:11. I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb. Okay, horns do symbolize form of power, and these it is referring to how the political parties are structured, like the politics goes to the word politeia. Sorry, forgive me, that Greek word. Basically civil affairs and whatnot. It's structured into two because of what they have, the Democrats and Republicans, right? This is referring to Babylon. This is what the other beast is, man. And it says, and he spake as a dragon, right? Because this is what America does, man. It makes people all, it makes people like consider it, marvel at it, and enjoy the things that come out of it. Really, what comes out of it, man? Just fucking folly, degeneracy. Okay, nothing but pure wickedness. Nothing but going against the scriptures. That's not a light thing, man. And the shit that goes down there is not, just generally speaking, just it's not what they tell you. It's not what they tell you it is at all, man. It's fucking wicked out there, man. They're not telling you just how wicked it is right now either. Just the magnitude of it. There's so much going on that they're not gonna keep you in the loop that way. They're gonna make sure you always hear the same fucking shit. Whether it was the seal or whatever. Hey, they got the monkeypox coming up now. I'm gonna have to figure out a new little code word for that one soon. All right, what else? Oh man, they're gonna talk about things regarding Ukraine, trying to make you have sympathy for them ones. Like, they're gonna tell you what they want you to fucking talk about, man. Basically, man. Let me get this real quick. And all day, and until one of the things that is gonna make us very excited, of course, because we know we're very close to the end, is when they start talking about the charagma. This is Proverbs 13:13. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. Okay. No, that's pretty plain, man. All right, if you haven't noticed, all right, man, he despises, all right, the commandments. He despises the true word. Okay, he despises anything to do with true holiness because he is indeed that thing that was made crooked. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has made Esau, to be the wicked man. All right, have all types of demons on him, have him walk in the way of wickedness. All right, he is simply a wicked man, and the Lord is not going to deliver him from that wicked spirit. The Lord is going to use him as a wicked spirit, man. Now, I'll end on this scriptures because battery is low. Psalm chapter 17 and verse 10. Oh wait, no. 17:13, forgive me. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So you see, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai uses the wicked as a sword, okay? So uses him to basically as a vessel for destruction. So he can create judgment on the earth. All right, and ultimately, of course, they're gonna get judged for doing so. Even though he's using them for that purpose, his purpose is E's purpose is to be wicked. So then they're gonna have to get got, man. They will eventually, of course, after 1,000 years of slavery, they're going to be put to death. They're going to be burned up, man. And there's not going to be, there's not going to be Idumean on this earth again. But I'm gonna end this here. I don't want Ratazah. This video was indeed edifying. Okay. Oh, and by the way, the reason why I was bringing out the whole thing regarding Babylon and Rome is because again, America is an expansion of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire has the 7 heads and 10 horns going into NATO and EU, and then the 11th horn and the 8th head. All right, yes, Babylon, America is all these things, okay? Because they're gonna get them people who just don't want to hear that. All right, but America is all these things. So you see, it is referring to something that expanded or extended out of Rome. And it's basically making people follow after the image of the beast, and that was what I was supposed to bring out. So forgive me, I actually need to bring this out. It's the book of Revelation chapter 10. Forgive me, it's getting a bit late. Mine's a bit fried up in this flesh, man. Revelation 13. I just think maybe I should just, I'll start verse 12. How about there you go. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, which is Rome, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. How do you worship that beast? You give reverence to it by following after the ways, man, of that beast, man. And ultimately, that would be the way to do that is also to take the charag, man. Okay, and I'll end it there. I'll end it there. As you read in Revelation 13, it goes into it, man. That the people of the earth, he's going to want them to worship the image of the beast. And if they don't, then they should be killed, man. As it reads in verse 15. And then, of course, you go down. And it goes into the charag, man, whatnot. All right, so other than this video was edifying. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Rocha Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, rule well, and labor in this word and doctrine. Shalom Barakaf, Bahabachiyar Hagawiyah Yasharala. Meaning peace and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Wathla Babal. Shalom.